I like it. Ready? Yes.
I got it installed.
It's up there.
I know, that's right.
Good evening. You're welcome to this meeting of the Westminster's Mayor and Common Council. The council meets here at City Hall on the second and fourth Mondays of every month. Please note that council meetings, although open to the public here at City Hall, are also available and streamed live on the city's YouTube page, as well as the Community Media Center channel. Now we'll begin as we do every meeting with the pledge to the flag, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. As a courtesy to everyone, please take a moment to silence your cell phones or any other electronic devices you have that might interrupt the meeting. Thank you. Copies of tonight's agenda and the entire information packet that the council will be using are available online on the city's website. Copies of the agenda are available here in the front of the room for those present at the meeting. I'd like to make a statement for the record about a recent closed meeting. We had a closed meeting on Monday, June 10th, 2024, in accordance with the General Provisions Article, Section 3-306, C2 of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and without objection, it is noted that the minutes of tonight's meeting reflect that the Common Council met in a closed meeting on Monday, June 10th, 2024, at 8:30 p.m. pursuant to General Provisions Article, Section 3-305, B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice. The motion was made by Mr. Cavacci, seconded by Mr. Hoff, and the vote to close the meeting was unanimous. Following staff members attended the meeting: City Administrator Impulse and City Attorney Levan. The Common Council took no official action during the meeting. The closed meeting adjourned at 9:02 p.m. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a public hearing. Public hearings in the City of Westminster are led by the mayor, so I will turn the gavel over to Dr.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Start time is 7:02, and I'll call this public hearing to order. Charter Amendment Resolution 24-01. The City of Westminster Mayor and Common Council is conducting this public hearing to receive public comment regarding Charter Amendment Resolution number 24-01, a charter amendment resolution of the Mayor and Common Council of the City of Westminster concerning the single subject enforcement to amend the Charter of the City of Westminster, Chapter 44, Enforcement of Ordinances, to provide for penalties commensurate with those authorized by state law. Copies of the Charter Amendment Resolution are available for public inspection in the City Clerk's office at 45 West Main Street, Westminster, Maryland, 21157. Please contact City Clerk Doug Barber at 410-848-4938 or email comments@westminstermd.gov to obtain a copy of the Charter Amendment Resolution. At this time, is there anyone who would like to speak on the Charter Amendment? Ms. Impulse, do you have anything to add for the? Okay, thank you. Seeing that no one wants to speak, we'll call this public hearing closed at 7:04.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move on now. Normally this is when we do presentations. We only have one thing tonight. When Dr. Julia Jaskin became president of McDaniel College, she told us that she would like to send a senior member of her staff to every meeting of the council possible to share with us a little information on what's happening up on the Hill and to report back on what's happening here in the city. So we're pleased to welcome Heidi Riegel, the Associate Vice President for Constituent Engagement tonight.
Thank you. And thanks for having me this evening. The college has been busy hosting our McDaniel local sessions, which is where we welcome all of our first year students over the course of the summer. We have 5 of those sessions. We will have all of our first year students and transfer students on the Hill for an overnight. We also have been hosting their families for a resource session on the first day of those McDaniel locals. So we started on June 20th with our first one. Our last one will be this week on July 11th, so we're very excited about that. And with our parent session, we do give them a resource booklet, and part of that resource booklet is talking about Westminster and giving them QR codes to not only our page that we have that talks about Westminster, the city of Westminster and McDaniel College, but also the Downtown Business Association, just as a resource of where they can go eat and hang out while they're visiting their student here on the Hill. We're also very excited for our last local because we are sending members of our community to help out with the Ninja Warrior Challenge on Friday as our students go through that. And then the last thing I wanted to just encourage you all to do is to mark your calendars for Parent and Family Weekend, which will be November 15th to the 17th. And we do a lot with the city in encouraging our families to get out and see their students, larger community that they call home while they're at the college. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rabel. We appreciate this. Move on now to approval of minutes. We have minutes of the meeting of the Mayor and Common Council on June 10th and minutes of the Mayor and Common Council's work session of June 18th. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Dayhoff, is there a second?
Second.
The second by Ms. Gilbert. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We have 8 items on the consent calendar this evening. May I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
A motion by Mr. Dayhoff, is there a second?
Second.
The second by Mr. Kavachi. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it. And consent calendar is approved. Report from the mayor. Dr. Becker, what do you have for us in this very hot place?
Not so much, so I'll keep it short. It's been about a month since we met, and the reason we didn't meet the last weekend or the last Monday in June is because we were all at Ocean City, not enjoying the beach, but attending the Maryland Municipal League Conference. It was 3 days of some really great networking, meeting with other municipal leaders, the governor, lieutenant governor, their staff were there as well. The cabinet secretaries were present. So I was able to spend some really good face-to-face time with both Governor Moore and Lieutenant Governor Miller, Secretary McGowan of MDE, who is a supporter of what we're doing in Westminster with the Pure Water Westminster project, as well as some other cabinet secretaries. The governor paid a visit to the Carroll County booth and sported a little Pure Water Westminster water drop in his photo op at the booth. And I would say overall, it was a great conference for there. And I'll keep it just at that.
All right, very good. Thank you, Dr. Becker. I'll move on now to reports from committees. Begin with our liaison to the Carroll County Arts Council, Mr. Dayhoff.
Thank you, Mr. President. We continue to have some exciting programming at the Carroll Arts Council. We have a meeting Wednesday morning, very early in the morning, and things are going well. Consult the excellent website for the Carroll Arts Council for our continuing schedule. Thank you, Mr. President. That'll be it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dayhoff. Joining us virtually is Councilmember Dan Hoff, who is at home keeping us safe from any possible exposure to COVID. Thank you, Mr. Hoff, for your consideration. Even though you don't have it, we appreciate your being careful. Would you like to give an Economic and Community Development Committee report?
I have nothing for tonight, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. On behalf of the Finance Committee, I don't have anything tonight. We have a meeting later this week, and we'll be reporting back to you all after that. Likewise, for the Personnel Committee, I have nothing. Public Safety, Mr. Kamachi.
Thank you, Mr. President. On July second at 8:30, the Westminster Police Department received a call of theft in progress at Dick's Sporting Goods. It was one of those situations we all see going on around the country. They said there were 4 adult individuals in the store ripping merchandise off the racks and shoving them into bags. Unlike other locations, we actually respond and address a concern like that. So our wonderful Westminster Police Department officers responded and quickly arrived on the scene. As the individuals were running out of the store with the stolen merchandise, the suspects attempted to get into a van that was waiting outside, but the Westminster police officers were able to get all involved stopped before they had a chance to flee. All in all, about $16,000 worth of merchandise was recovered, and 4 individuals were charged with felony theft. It's believed the individual is responsible for several other types of thefts in the region. And this is just one more example of our police department apprehending or arresting and bringing charges against individuals that somehow seem to get away with these types of things in other locations that don't get caught, but when they come here, they do. So I think it's just another good example of the fine work that our men and women do to make sure that these folks know this isn't the place to be pulling those kind of shenanigans. So congratulations to the police department, chief, everybody involved. That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kavachi. Public Works, Ms. Gilbert.
Hold on a minute, I'm scrolling down. Public Works, along with the, all the essential duties our Public Works employees do, such as mowing in this horrible 95 and 100-degree weather, street maintenance, utility maintenance, water treatment, and wastewater treatment. Our streets department was busy this month, also setting up, well, actually it was June, setting up and tearing down Art in the Park events, restriping 45, the police parking lot, family center parking lots, which again, in 100-some degree weather is kind of challenging, and setting up for the Raven Tree event that occurred last month. That is all I have for Public Works.
All right, thank you very much. And can you also give a report for the Recreation and Parks Committee?
I sure can. Can you roll right into that one? The Recreation and Parks Department summer camp program kicked off on June 15th. This program offers a variety of engaging and educational activities for children throughout the summer, providing them with a safe and fun environment to learn, play, and make new friends. On June 21st, we proudly opened up the newly renovated pickleball courts and tennis courts in our city park. The park now boasts a total of 10 pickleball courts, with 6 courts exclusively dedicated to pickleball and 2 courts reserved for tennis. We believe these upgrades will greatly enhance the recreational opportunities available to our community members, providing more facilities for everyone to enjoy outdoor activities and stay active. I don't want to forget that July, we celebrate National Parks and Rec Month. Our Recreation and Parks Department has planned a variety of fun activities for everyone to enjoy from all ages. Some of the highlights is what has already been mentioned this evening, Kids Ninja Warrior Challenge, Kids Splash and Dash, and free snowballs every Tuesday from 12 to 1 on Locust Lane. So for more information on all the activities every day through the month of July, please go to www.westminstermaryland.gov. And we encourage anyone to participate and make the most of our fantastic parks and recreation facilities and all the energy and creativity our employees in the Parks and Rec Department have put into this month.
All right, thank you. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Tomorrow is Tuesday.
So it'll be what?
Snowball.
Snowballs tomorrow.
Yes.
Very good, all right. And Technology Committee, Mr. Dale.
No report, Mr. President.
Thank you. All right, now it's time for council comments and discussion. It's an opportunity for council members to raise any other issues or concerns that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. Begin with you, Mr. Kavachi.
I've got nothing, Mr. President. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Deha.
No report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Ms. Gilbert?
I also am a no report.
Wow.
I mean, I'd love to mention the great experience at MML, but the mayor has already taken care of that, so.
Okay, very good. Mr. Haas?
I will go along with the group and no report.
All right. Well, I won't I had a long list here, but that's.
I can see your computer, there's no list there.
All right, well, you found me out. Okay, so we'll move on now to ordinances and resolutions. We have one item this evening, adoption of charter amendment resolution number 24-01, a charter amendment resolution of the mayor and common council of the city of Westminster concerning the single subject enforcement to amend the charter of the city of Westminster, section 44, enforcement of ordinances. Ms. Imhoff.
Thank you, sir. Staff has nothing to add to the mayor's items during the public hearing, but I'm available to answer any questions.
And this is just, I don't think we really said anything about it during the public hearing. This is just about updating the charter because we found that there were some things that were no longer current. Is that correct?
So our charter has a provision in it that states that the city is only allowed to issue an enforcement fine of a specific dollar amount, and the state allows for a higher dollar amount. So instead of matching the exact dollar amount that the state allows right now, the new language in the law states that the city can enact a fine that is a penalty rather, that is equal to what the state allows, which means that we don't have to change the charter every time the state changes the ceiling for what that penalty could be.
That's a much better plan. May I have a motion to adopt charter amendment resolution number 24-01?
Motion to adopt.
A motion by Mr. Dayhoff. Is there a second?
So,
The second by Mr. Kavachi. Any further discussion or any questions for Ms. Imhoff?
Mr. President,
Mr.
I think just a little more clarity, just in case anybody is actually watching this other than Councilman Huff. This gives us flexibility in terms of the amounts we're going to assess for these penalties. And I think it's important to note, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to always make it the maximum amount. It can be any amount up to that amount. And I echoing what Ms. Mill said, changing the charter is something that should be done very rarely. And this does that in a way so we don't have to go back and do it, but we will over time through ordinances be updating those penalties much more regularly and looking at, you know, what does a penalty need to be to get the compliance that you're looking for. And I think that's important to note. So they're two very different things, the ordinances versus the charter amendment. This is just giving us the latitude to then assess those penalties, but I don't want anybody walking away thinking that we're automatically making every penalty the maximum amount allowable by state law, because that's not the case here. Matter of fact, this doesn't change anything in terms of the penalties that we're assessing for things. It just gives us the flexibility in the future to do that without needing to go and change the charter. So I just want to make sure that we're all clear on that before we actually vote.
Thank you, Mr. Kavachi. There's good points. And of course, as you know, as a member of the Finance Committee, and my colleagues know, annually, the Finance Committee reviews all the city's fees that we charge, and I think we'll probably add this to that review as well. Make the appropriate recommendations to all of you on what those should be. Any further discussion? Hearing none, move on to a vote. All those in favor of adoption of the charter amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes seem to have it, the ayes have it, and the amendment is adopted. Thank you. There is no unfinished business of which I'm aware. Does anybody have any unfinished business to bring? There's no new business that was approved for the agenda. Departmental reports. Ms. Imhoff.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You may notice that we have quite a few people that are out today. I want to take a moment to thank the council for offering that opportunity to those staff members. I think it's really important that staff are able to spend time with their families, doing things that they like, which sometimes unfortunately coincides with the date of a meeting. And I've worked places where that's not acceptable. And I know the staff really appreciates being able to make schedules work with kids and grandparents, et cetera, despite when we may have a council meeting and business as usual goes on. So I want to thank you for that. We will start tonight with, as we always do, with the Recreation Department, Ms. Gruber.
Good evening. I myself have just returned from vacation, so I don't have a lot to report, but I will bring you up to speed on our Recreation and Parks Month activities to date. On July 3rd, we had a very successful first go at a Stars, Stripes, and Spurs line dancing event in City Park. We welcomed almost 100 people to this event where they line danced in the middle of City Park, and we served up 3 root beer floats. So fun was had by all. It was a great family-friendly event and a nice way to invite people in City Park that may not have been there before. We also are busy this week. We had a yoga for kids session this morning from 9 to 10 in as shady of a spot as we could find, because we do offer that program outdoors. And obviously tomorrow there will be snowballs in Locust Lane. We have a pickleball lesson for children in the park on Wednesday this week, because we need more people playing pickleball. Thursday, the 11th, we're going to experience some goat cuddling. We thought that might be a very unusual and therapeutic activity to offer. And Friday, of course, is our Ninja Warrior Challenge, which we are so thrilled to have the help of the McDaniel students. We are looking forward to that because we always seem to struggle for volunteers for this event. Now we just need to keep our eye on the weather because we are staring down what seems to be maybe a tricky forecast for Friday's event. And then, as you may imagine, our Westminster Municipal Pool has been very, very busy. So just keeping things going up there and making sure that customer satisfaction remains high when we see peak crowds at our facility. And that's what we have going on. I thank you for your continued support of our department. And I echo what Ms. Imhoff said about your ability to support our request for time off to spend with our families when it makes sense for us and not have to work it around meeting schedules. So it is much appreciated.
Are there any questions for the Recreation and Parks Department?
I had a couple, one comment, one question. Number one, the comment, nice article in the paper this morning, about the yoga, I think it's water yoga, with Randy Goldstein's wife, or first name.
Oh, Aqua Zumba.
Yeah,
Jen
Zumba.
Goldstein,
Yeah,
yes.
cool. There's a picture of her, she must be 10 feet in the air. She should be playing basketball, but it was a good article. And then the other thing is, what is goat cuddling? Like, who does it? What's the point? Explain that a little more to me, would you?
Ms. Gilbert, you want to jump into this?
I actually do, excuse me, Ms. Gruber, I will give a point by point view to Councilman Kavachi after Thursday's event. My entire unit and myself have signed up for goat cuddling as a work retreat. So I will let you know what goat cuddling is after that, but it sounded fun and very relaxing because who would like enjoy cuddling baby goats? But I'll let you know. Might be stressful. No air, but.
All right.
It is a spinoff from goat yoga. And we really had a toss up. Do we want to offer goat yoga or goat cuddling or both? But we decided that maybe goat cuddling would have a more universal appeal. And it's really just, it's almost like petting a puppy or a kitten to kind of relax you and just spend some time not thinking about your very long to-do list or work or any of the stressors in your life, and just to kind of be a kid for a little while and pet an animal and commune with nature.
I'm glad he has no stress.
Well, then I guess we won't see you there.
The folks were used in the military, but for very different things. There was no cuddling going on. Anyway,
We used to use goats instead of lawnmowers.
that's right. Yeah, one of them was named after my father.
Yes, it was.
That's absolutely correct.
It was.
Sorry, I totally derailed the meeting at this
Back to you,
point.
business.
I was in high school, I was in 4-H and a goat ate part of my skirt while I was wearing it. I don't think I will participate in the
You won't be
goat.
part of it. I thought you were gonna say it ate your homework, one of those things.
No, rude, it was rude. It's always something fun and exciting for Rec and Park Month.
Always.
All right, so we are gonna move on with your permission to the Human Resources Department, Mr. Mayor.
Up back,
You took the words right on my mouth. Thank you, Ms. Impel. Hard act to follow. I too was in the service, so I know about the goat stories. Just one brief announcement I want to make to the council and the community at large. The water plant just posted 2 positions for a second and third shift supervisor. So I wanted to make everyone aware of that. And that's all I have. Thank you, Ms. Impel.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any other questions? Moving on to the housing department, Mr. Brown.
Thank you. Keeping with the goat thing,
Thanks, Abby.
this past, for the month of June, our biggest issue in terms of violation dealt with weeds and grass. So when you get through cutting the goats. We could use some assistance. 32% of the 22 violations we issued last month was for grass and weeds. 27% were for sanitation related. 27% was for rental housing license, and 14% was for others. In terms of rental housing license, as of today, 565 licenses have been paid for. And of that number, 6 were in cash, 224 were in checks, and 333 were credit cards. And the 563 number is a little over 50% of the number that we're expecting. And a lot of those are some of the large ones that just haven't paid as of yet. And they have until the end of the month. And I know some of them have already contacted us about getting their payment. It just takes them a little time to get it through their corporate processes. But we expect that that number will go down at the end of the month occurs. But that's all I have. If you haven't answered any questions, anybody may have. So thank you, Ms. Hill.
Are there any questions for the housing department? Hearing none, we're gonna move on to the planning, community economic development and all the rest of the words. Ms. Gerhard.
Hi, good evening. Just want to let you know that the Board of Zoning Appeals case 2404, that was the one for the Outback signage. It was heard on July 2nd, but it's now been continued to their August meeting. July 10th, the Historic District Commission plans to discuss a tax credit application for 12 Anchor Street. And this is for a new roof, chimney, skylight, and some other various projects. July 18th, our Planning Commission has tentatively scheduled a few things. You heard about, Mark told you previously about an amendment to the Wakefield Valley Development Plan that's still on this agenda, as well as the McDaniel Overlook preliminary subdivision, that is too. We also have an approval of a sign permit. The sign is greater than 64 square feet, so we can't do it administratively. We have to get permission from Planning Commission, and that's for 1101 Business Parkway South. We're also having a beneficial insect release on July 16th with our tree commission, and that's going to be here at City Hall at 11 o'clock if anyone's interested in joining us. And our Bee City application was just submitted for renewal just last week. That's all that I have.
Thank you, Ms. Gerhard. Are there any questions for the planning department? Hearing none, we want to welcome Ms. Board tonight with us, our legal team, and we'll move on to the police department. Captain Schuster.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Einholz. I'm Captain Schuster, sitting in for Chief Ledwell. I'm Commander of the Criminal Investigations Bureau. Community engagements, the 4th of July fireworks went well. We had no issues throughout the city. Traffic moved fine. We worked together with the Sheriff's Department and the county and state roads. On July 13th, 2024, the Pride Festival will be here in Westminster. We've met with the organizers, and a footprint has been provided to us for that event. We are finalizing our operations plans, and we will be having a final operation plan meeting, and that will include the streets department as well. Under staffing, we had a hiring event on June 22nd, 2024. From that hiring event, 3 candidates are moving forward within the process. We also have 2 lateral officers that are currently in the process and moving forward. That's all I have. Thank you, Ms. Einholz.
Are there any questions for the police department?
Listen, also I have a comment, not a question.
Captain Schuster, since you're here, you don't get to hear this, and you may not even be aware that this happens with some regularity, but your name comes up at these meetings, I'd say a number of times a year. And your department, your section, your criminal investigation division is brought up pretty regularly as well. And I think I speak for everyone here, we are just so fortunate to have someone of your abilities, capabilities, the job that you do, it's just incredible. I say to people all the time, we've got the best investigator in the county, I'd argue maybe in the state. And you've proved that time and time again personally, and you've done it through your leadership in terms of how you run your department and train some of the subordinates that you have. And I just wanted to take a minute since you're here at our meeting to say publicly thank you very much. I hope you stay for another 25 or 30 years. I know that's not going to happen, but you make us all safer and a lot more comfortable in our community with the job you do. I'm personally grateful for it, having a number of children that have chosen to live here. And I think everybody sitting up here at this dais would agree with me that we really appreciate it. Thank you very much for the job you do.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for saying that. Are there any other questions for the police department? Mr. President, that concludes the departmental reports.
All right, thank you, Ms. Impulse. The final item on our agenda is citizen comments, when we invite the public to address the mayor and council on any issues that pertain to tonight's agenda or any other city issues. For citizens not attending the public meeting, we invite you to send us your comments or concerns via email at comments@westminstermd.gov. All comments received by email will be shared with the mayor and council. We ask that commenters please include their address and phone number with their comments. And now we'll invite comments from anyone who is present. Please give your name and address for the record. We would like to be heard. All right, hearing no one, that concludes our agenda and the meeting. Thank you all very much.
Quick one. 32 minutes.